Welcome to the TFO podcast, where guests get to give their thoughts, feelings, and opinions on a variety of subjects. This podcast is hosted by your very own Stacy Cook, and as always, sponsored by Fool's Guide Life Coaching. Follow me on all social media platforms. So give it up for our guest today. Yeah. I agree. So in life coaching, people are always like one decision, one step. They are so close to being where they want to be, they don't realize it. They just, it's tweaks. It is not really like this breaking down and rebuilding of people's personalities and things. It's
Absolutely.
usually pretty small.
Well, and I think people need to allow themselves to be happy. They need to give themselves permission to be happy. And I think in our modern world, and I don't think, to be honest with you, I think the modern world is really no different than the world for thousands of years.
Right.
People are people. I just think, like for social media, you just get a lot more of it. The volume is just coming all the time, right? We get told how we should be happy. And that's something I would say probably until within the last 5 years, I think I've probably really allowed myself to say, I envy my dad in a lot of ways, is that, growing up with really nothing.
Right.
He's like, in the grand scheme, kind of sitting on top of it.
Yeah,
really.
doing pretty well. Yeah. So I get some of the, why did you pick being a life coach? Couldn't you just take another job or get another job? You could make more money doing this. I'm like, there's some reward in helping other people that money doesn't get yet.
Yeah.
Right?
It absolutely is. And I think, I try to tell my kids that a lot, but that's a journey you have to take on your own. You cannot be.
Yeah, going back to your ancestors, when they had no money, they weren't thinking that.
No, that's
right?
not.
They had,
not even a little bit.
Yeah, so now that we have gotten a little bit further on in life and in our careers, we can have those thoughts.
At the end of the day, it's like you can't take it with you. And actually, my daughter had to write a paper, is can money buy happiness? And so we had the conversations. I said, okay, because she asked me that. She interviewed her brother and she interviewed me, and I was like, I look at it like seasoning.
There you go.
If you have a steak, like if life is a steak, whatever, in theory, a steak can be good. If you do have a little bit of money to be able to put some seasoning on it, it can be made better. On the flip side, it can be made a lot worse.
Put the wrong stuff on, and a lot of it,
It can go bad really, really fast. And I think some of the most unhappy people that I know are the ones that have tried to chase that, and it's very unfulfilling.
I think the thing that money bought me that I got the most out of was time.
Yeah.
Money bought me time. Money allowed
That's very
me
true.
to not have to work 2 jobs, or not have to work different shifts, or not have to do these things, that I can do something that's fulfilling with my time. And that's the best thing I've bought so far.
Well, and I think as many of your pieces of wisdom that I've taken over the years, I think we were talking, was a few weeks ago, we talked about the could concept, right?
Yes.
Is that, so like it was funny, as I was walking through the parking lot the other day, I was like, man, there's a lot of nice vehicles here.
There are.
A lot of really nice vehicles here. So, and it isn't just like the leaders or the engineers, just as across the board, and so I was looking back, I was looking at my 6-year-old Ford Focus with 100,000 miles and no cruise control and roll up windows.
Hey, yeah.
But I think you gave a good point, is that, but I could get a nicer car if I wanted.
If you wanted to.
If I wanted, right? And there's comfort in that.
That's right.
It is not my natural way to, it isn't that I think cars are good or bad or whatever. It's just, it's not necessarily where I put my resources or whatever. So I think there is that comfort.
There is.
Factor.
Yeah. I could go there if I want to.
I could go to Hawaii every year or whatever.
I could.
I don't, but I could.
But I could. And that feels our words of wisdom. You got some young person, they're just starting in their career, they're looking to try to make something out of this, what would you tell them?
Be more like Stacy. That's what I'd say.
I'm gonna edit that.
No.
And then, then after that, then what would you tell them?
No, I mean, that in and of itself at its face value is funny. I mean, it's to some degree true. I mean, I think is that I've learned a lot from you and a lot from a lot of other people too. Is what I would say for a young person is try to understand what and this is what I always ask people when we start mentoring. Like, what do you like to do? Don't tie it to a job, don't tie it to a role, don't tie it to money, don't tie it to achievement, but like what brings you not just happiness, but like joy. And there's a difference between happy and joy, right? Joy is that thing that stays with you, right? That you are joyful of heart, whereas happiness can be, very transitory, shall we say. But I think, to me, what I would say is what brings you happiness? What do you enjoy doing? And write that down somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what, I enjoy, being physically active, or you enjoy doing, challenging projects, or you like art, or you like dealing with people, or you like, it could be a lot of those things. And then, what I ask people to do is, and say, okay, let's take that nugget or that seed, shall we say, how do you then build around that, whether you call it the life or the career or the job or the whatever it is that now it's going to be like, hey, yeah, you know what, I like playing golf, or I'm going to make it up. You have to expand that. What is it about playing golf? Is it the competitiveness? Is it the work ethic? Is it the whatever? And if you can dissect that enough to say, oh, okay, it's the structured practice or the structured whatever. Okay, well, what do you like to do in your daily life that can be structured? Maybe you can coach people, and that's a structured, so you can teach them how to be structured. Because I'm not a structured person at all. So if I could be around, others, and maybe you can make that, part of your routine, is that, hey, you know what, this is something I'm naturally good at that I can share, and then maybe you become a teacher, maybe you become a coach, or you become, a leader of others because you like to have that structured people, or you start to partner with others like me who are not structured. Or is it, I like, another one that's structured is that we talk about, like, our project leads, right? You have to be structured, otherwise you get buried really, really fast. Right. It's like, okay, well, no, is it just like, no, I like the artistry of my golf swing or whatever it is. Okay, in that case, that puts you down a different track. But I think, to me, what I would say is be very honest with yourself of what brings you joy and chase that, rather than trying to move within the framework of either whatever a business or your family or your society or your religion or your whatever tells you.
I like it.
That should be structured to make you happy.
So I would say, so I'm going to close with this. That advice is so good when you say, I want to do this one particular thing, and you try to just do that, and you don't expand it out. So I wanted to take psychology. I thought that would be the best thing ever. Nothing against psychologists. Yeah. It's nothing against that degree, but that degree wasn't going to get me where I wanted to go in my career either. But I found a degree that had some of the same elements in it that actually would allow me to do the things I wanted to do in my career. It was just a slight pivot. Yeah. It wasn't that big, right?
Yeah. And you're very good at it, right? And I think that's what I think you and I have talked about it. Your growth that you have shared with me is that you can see you've grown into those things that you like to do. You're very good at it. So.
All right, thank you, Mr. Brian.
All right, well, thank you. I enjoyed it.
That wasn't so painful, was it?
No, that was a lot of fun.
You didn't incriminate yourself at any point?
No, not that I can tell anyway.